Can you believe this is the third time I'm recording this? Past twice, the device has gone and lost the whole thing after an hour each time. So wish me luck and hope that I can get through this recording, huh? Hello and welcome to the second episode of the HennyPennyMakes podcast. I'm Erin and I'm a yarn dyer, rainbow lover and colour therapist based in Montrose in Scotland. Thank you for joining me today. If you watched the first episode and have come back, thank you even more because you've waited a very long time. It's been 10 months, but life has just been crazy. And we've had all sorts of things, some things just the everyday things that everyone goes through, and then other things that are out with our control, including our house getting flooded because of our neighbours. So there's still work to be done and the house is in a bit of a mess, and you know, it's been a bit stressful this last while. So please excuse me for the delay in getting a second episode, and hopefully there won't be such a long one until the next episode. I thought I would start by showing you some things that I've been working on and then talk about various things in the business and an upcoming make along. So I'll start with this cardigan. If you watched the first episode, you'd have seen that it was almost finished. I kind of had a quick flick through earlier to see where I was because it's been so long. So I'll show you just now. It's just a really cozy, comfy, simple cardigan. My own design, and I just love it. It's one of those cozy, comforting things that when I need to snuggle up, or if I'm not feeling 100% or something, or if I just need something to throw on as well, it's the perfect kind of cardie. So I'm working on a second one at the moment, and I'm hoping that once I've got it done, I'm working with the numbers just now for the pattern, then I'll be able to request testers. It's my first, I've done some simple patterns just for free on the website or to pop in with kits and things, but this is the first sort of one that I want to grade so that anyone can wear it, because everything else has been accessories, so it's easy enough to kind of suit everybody in one size. But this I want to be accessible. I want everyone to have what I'm calling my Cuddle cardigan. So I'll show you the second colours I've chosen. I have gone for a completely different colour palette this time, all from my stash, and it's just a perfect stash buster as well, because I'm one of those people that goes to shows, buys individual skeins of yarn because I fall in love with them and then I don't know what to do with them. So it's the perfect one for using up all those bits. So I have started my next one in these colours. This is Jellybeans Yarns. I think it's Dragonfly. It's hard to maybe see, but it's a beautiful kind of almost iridescent underneath the dark colour. Is that one of my pictures falling down? They keep doing that, I tell you. And then this one is Fear of the Dark by Castleview Yarns, another lovely kind of multicoloured with grey. This is one of my friend Helen from Giddy Yarns, her yarns. I think this is called Haunting. Each time I've recorded this, I've thought I must look this up if I have to do it again, and I've forgotten to do it. But it's a beautiful colour, quite subtle, but with lots of little colourful speckles. And then the fourth one, which is maybe hard to see the difference between them, but it's my own yarn called Tay Street. I dyed it up for Perth Festival of Yarn a couple of years ago, and then dyed up another batch for the festival shop. So Ava, I think she's still got some skeins of it available on the website. Could be wrong, but I think so. So it's a lovely pale kind of lilac-y grey with orange speckles and yellow. It was based around a picture of sort of dusk on Tay Street in Perth. So I'm working on this, as I said. I have stopped temporarily because I need to work out the next section of the pattern. So I think what I've done comes up to roughly here. It might be slightly here, but I need to work out for colour changes how much more I've got until the kind of top of the shoulder and how much to leave for the sleeves. And I haven't gotten around to doing that. I need peace and quiet to do these things, and it's just not been that way this last while. I'm going to, this one, cardigan will be different because the sleeves will match the colour progression of the body, whereas this cardigan, it's all just random colours. But I think when it's finished it'll be lovely because it'll have a completely different kind of look. So I've got these 4, and then I'm going to go into this one next, which is Pixie Yarns, a really pretty colourway, and it's called 22, so I think I'm hoping it'll look lovely next to that. And then the last colourway will be, I can't remember what it's called, I think it's something to do with beach party or something like that. It's by Claire from Cookson Crafts, so I'm hoping by the time it gets to the top it'll have that lovely kind of colour blend look. I hope anyway. I never know when I'm making things. Sometimes things work perfectly and the next time it doesn't go the way I'm thinking, but I'll still love it no matter what, because it's just the perfect kind of garment to wear at any time, I think. I don't know what other parents think when they see me wearing this to the school pickup, but I don't care because it's fun. It makes me happy. So that's what our make should be, isn't it? They should just make us happy no matter what anyone else thinks. So as I said, once I've got that figured out, I will be looking for testers. I would like to have testers in all the sizes, but at the moment I'm not I can't remember because it's been a while since I've looked at the pattern how many I would need, but I will share it on here and on social media and in my subscriber list as well. So if anyone's interested in making something like that, please let me know. I can easily send you a specific email then if you want to be sure that you don't miss out. Yeah, so I think that's the first thing. What else have I been doing? Yeah, I'll show you the other thing I spoke about last time that I have done more of are my colourful socks. So I wanted to try and do a bit like the rainbow, I can't remember what it was called, the rainbow sock along, I think it was. Last year I wanted to do a set of socks in all the kind of colours of the rainbow. So I did the pink and the red, and see, I'm terrible. I was going to call this episode Guilty Secrets because I am terrible for leaving ends. I usually try and hide them so people don't see. I'm terrible for leaving ends until I have a show or something and I have to have it finished. So please excuse all the ends that you'll see in pieces. If I could get away without weaving ends in ever, I would, but that's not an option, unfortunately. Another guilty secret is that I have socks without heels that they've been waiting a year and I still haven't gotten it done. I need somebody that's great at weaving in ends and putting in heels, and then I would be sorted. I'd get so much done. Anyway, so that's the orange ones. I showed them last time, and the yellow waiting on their heels. I've done since then, I have done green. I love this one. I don't know if you can see. That's Deep in the Forest. It's one of my earliest colourways and I love it. I just love how it comes out. The colours are really pretty. It's one of my most popular. I just love it. Then there's my turquoisey teal kind of coloured ones. I've got more yarn put aside to make more sets to kind of fill in gaps, because the red set that I made, it's just not quite bright enough for my liking, so I've got a brighter red set, and then I think I've got a darker teal one to do, and some other bits and pieces. Another yellow and orange that kind of are more typically orange and yellow, I think. I've got the blues. So every sock I've made, I've used 3 semi-solids and a variegated yarn. Does anyone else have problems with their hair getting into their projects? Is that another guilty secret of mine? It's terrible. I think it's because my hair is dark as well, it's even more obvious. Probably if I was blonde it wouldn't bother me. Anyway, yeah, so every sock I've done I've used 3 semi-solids and a variegated. So eventually I'm hoping I can put, once I've got the whole rainbow of socks and I can take them to shows, I'm hoping I can put together kits that are the same, so that you can make your own if you want at home, because it's nice to buy a bundle, but sometimes you don't know how it'll all work together unless you've seen something someone's made. So I'm hoping that will be an option, that I can have them kind of all on display and you can pick your favourite colour. I've got yarn set aside for most of the others, so I just need to get on with them. But I was going along with the idea, so I use tins to store things, and I was using this tin to store all the socks that need heels put in, and I thought once I get to the point that the tin is full, I will put the heels in. And now the tin is full. So would you like to know how many is in there? So I counted earlier. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are my friend's socks. One of the first series from the Dotty Wool Company. So that's 6. I love these, and I used a bronze undyed base for the cuff and the toe, and I'm going to do the whole, I've got all of the 12 months, so I'm going to do the same with them all, so they're all kind of coordinated. So that's 6. These are, I think they're Christmas Look Grimald Place from London House Yarns, so that's 7. These are some scrappy Selene ones I had, just using up lots of scrappies and kind of doing them by colour. So that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These on count now. And the Honeydukes ones from London House Yarns, so that's 9. Another pair of scrappy Selene ones, in blues and greens, that's 10. Some pinks and purples, 11. And last but not least, these are the Yarn Badger, and they're her Christmas Lights colourway socks from Advent 2 years, yeah, not this last Christmas but the previous one. She does a countdown one with 24 stripes, so this was the Christmas Lights colourway. I've also got socks that are 2/3 of the way finished that are in the carousel ones. I'll show them next time. Yeah, so that's 12 pairs of socks that need heels added. If anyone fancies doing them for me, I would be very grateful. Maybe I'm just one of those people that doesn't find the joy in doing that. Once they're finished, I love it. I'm so happy, and I'm like, why on earth did I leave it so long? But the actual process of doing it, I think it's because I have a fear that I'm going to cut in the wrong place if I get distracted, and there's always distractions around here, so I don't know, I put it off. Anyway, so my tin is full, so I have to face it soon. I'm working on the next pair of the rainbow ones, and I won't have any space to store them, so I'm going to have to deal with the ends. So there'll be a whole flurry of finished socks maybe the next time you're watching. But I do love them. I am enjoying doing it. I think I've realised though that I'm more of a process knitter than a product knitter, because the actual finished thing, although like this I love wearing, but most things I just I tend not to bother weaving in ends, and I just kind of leave it until I'm desperate to wear it. I think I'm more of a process knitter. Right. So this year I am running clubs again. If you watched last time, you'd have seen that I'd started the colour therapy club. As I said, I'm a colour therapist, and I wanted to be able to help people learn a bit about how colour can affect their lives, ways to use it if they needed to boost certain, I don't know, certain areas or certain feelings. So I should have really had blue on today because blue helps with communication. Orange is kind of creativity. Those, you know, they all have their own qualities. So I ran the colour therapy club last year and was really pleased. Had a great response for it, which was lovely, and a lot of people wanted to join in that had missed it, and I wanted to kind of continue it so that I could give more information about the colour therapy in general. So I'm doing a second year plus repeating the first year. So I have some packs of the month so far, January, February, March, available if you fancy joining in. I have scrappy packs and I have 1 or 2 mixed bundles, I think, and a couple of other options left. And I've been keeping a scrappy pack from each month and making squares for a blanket. So I showed these ones last time, the pinks, the reds, the oranges and the yellows. If you haven't seen last episode, what I'm doing is using one of my 5-gram bobbins to do 2 squares. So one of these uses 2 bobbins basically, and my scrappy packs have 10 each month. So with 1 month set you can get 5 squares. I love doing this because it's an achievable project. I'm terrible for underestimating how long things will take. I honestly am the world's worst at it. So something like this is really easy for me to whip up in a month and not worry about whether I can manage or not. I can manage to keep on top of it, which is lovely. So I thought I would show you the next ones from last year's, which are still available. So I've got my greens for the next month that we focused on. I just love working on this. The colour therapy club is it's one of those ones that I put great pressure on myself to do because I want people to really enjoy it, but I absolutely love creating the colours and then seeing how they all work together. The next one, excuse the ends, as I said, terrible at putting them in, was kind of teals and turquoise. I'm really looking forward to getting to these colours again in this year's club. Not so excited about later on in the year because 1 or 2 of them are a bit more difficult to have a range of colours, but I will manage. I just, as I said, I put a lot of pressure on myself to make things as good as I possibly can, so I always worry that I might struggle. The blues were the next ones. Then we went into indigos, although I kind of went for darker blue rather than true indigo because there wouldn't be a great range in there. And I've tried to make them kind of blend together, so if you were, I don't know, doing like a granny stripe or something, you would see just a gradual blend rather than jumping about in colour. Then we went into the violets, and then into the purples. Now, a lot of people would think that violet and purple were the same thing, and technically they do fall under the same kind of purple colour, but to me purple is more pinky purple, if that makes sense, and violet's more blue purple, so therefore in colour they're kind of influenced by blue or red, you know. So I love that. That's one of my favourite combinations, and I'm hoping eventually once I get to the end of this club I can dye up kind of pairs of yarn so that if you wanted to make like a shawl with these 2 colours you could, or I don't know, like these 2 colours or that sort of thing, so that they'll be available in 50 grams and 100 grams. see. Now the browns. Oops. Yeah, so we've got that one, and that one. I like that one a lot actually. Really dark brown, and then the grey kind of brown. And the greys. Dark one, and that one. Those two look kind of similar, but they are different greys. So I think it's important to kind of show these, because clubs are exciting in some ways, but at the same time it can be hard to kind of judge what somebody's going to do, and when you're trusting a dyer to produce something that you're going to love, sometimes it can be a disappointment because one person's vision is totally different from another. So I think it's nice to be able to show you sort of the whole of last year's club. I'll see if I can lift this up without them all going flying, so you can see that that's kind of my kind of colours and what I would do with one club. I have got the first 3 months of the second year here to show. So I've got these ones, and they're all different from last year's, so when they're together the whole combination is going to be quite a mix of colours, which I'm really excited about. Oops, like that there just now. And the reds. The red, I was actually quite concerned about coming up with new colours for it, because red is quite a difficult one to get a range, if that makes sense. And red, I've noticed speaking to people, red is quite it's like green, it's quite I don't know how to put it, a specific to you kind of colour. So I noticed with green, some people would love like a limey kind of green. Some people would love a more bluey kind of green. Some people like really bright colours, some people like really muted colours. Very specific to the person themselves. Other colours seem to be more acceptable no matter what kind of variation it is. So red, I was quite concerned about doing a second year of it, and grey is another one, because there aren't that many variations of grey, if that makes sense. Whereas brown, there are loads of shades of brown that you can use for inspiration. Yeah, it's been good doing the club, because it's taught me stuff as well about colour and how I feel in producing colour. So I think it's good. It's always good to learn. So the oranges this time, I went more from kind of corals through to the really yellowy oranges. I love this one. Kind of nice and juicy, these two. And this is one of my favourite solid colours, Foxed. It's just, I want to make a jumper in this. So that's the Colour Therapy Club. As I said, if you wanted to join in, I do have some packs left. I'm happy to help kind of guide you if you need any advice on anything, because I know it's not easy sometimes to know for sure that you're ordering the right thing. I'm going to eventually, once I get this blanket done, I will write up it's just granny squares joined together, but just write it up so that you have a better idea of how much yarn you need, or what sort of size you can get from the squares and things. Because again, I think when you're embarking on a big project, it's not easy to know what you need. I'm one of those just try it and see people, but other people like to be more organised than I am probably. So that was the Colour Therapy. I'm running a Famous 5 club as well this year. My little girl loves stories and reading, and it's a really nice thing for us to be able to do together, and I loved the Famous 5 growing up, so I wanted to do a club. I didn't take the yarn through to show you just now, but I have photos available on my social media, so if you want to see what I've done so far, just have a look there. I I'm focusing each quarter on one book, so we've only looked at the very first book so far, and you can order it dye to order if you want to join in and catch up, starting from 50 gram skeins up to sock sets for like 120 grams. It's also available on a range of bases, so there's plenty of choice. So the first one we've looked at is On a Treasure Island, and then Ingots and The Wreck, which were both picked out from the book. And the second one we're about to start with is On an Adventure Again, or Go Adventuring Again. I've forgotten which one. So the first colourway in each quarter, I take inspiration from the book cover itself, and I'll share a picture of it each quarter. And then the other two colours are things from the book. So my plans for it are to make a blanket eventually, although I'm kind of tempted to make socks, so I don't know. I think that'll be a long-term thing, especially because there are 20 books in the series, or 21 books or something, so it's a bit of a commitment to do that many colours and that many pairs of socks. But I think a blanket would be lovely, and I can cuddle up with my girl then, and we can read more stories under it, so that's good. The last club that I'm running this year is my chakra club. So as well as being a colour therapist, I'm a therapist in other alternative therapies too, and chakras play a huge part in that, same as crystals do. So I wanted to do a chakra club. So if you don't know anything about chakras, I'm going to assume you don't, because not everybody does. I'm sorry if you do. But basically they're energy centres in our body. The kind of original system is based on 7, but there are different beliefs that there can be more, so that's why I've kind of incorporated it with the colours from the Colour Therapy Club too, so that it kind of covers all the colours, all the chakra centres. And the idea is that the yarns kind of incorporate all the colours with a main colour each month. So the colours I've chosen were working along with the Colour Therapy Club. So the first month was the pinks, and I must be honest, they don't look as nice on the bundle as they do when they're actually worked up, so I'll show you them worked up. But you can see they've got lots of colours in them. So the pinks and the reds, and then the oranges. Now I've got the orange squares crocheted up, but I haven't joined them yet, so I didn't take them up because I thought I'll end up dropping them and they'll go everywhere. But that's the oranges. And then I've done these 2 panels. So this is my pink ones. You can see the colours mixed in with that. So this is just from one scrappy pack. And I'm going to join the blocks all at the end once I've got them all done. But I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. And then this is the red ones. So I had, a couple of years ago I created a collection of chakra yarns based on the 7 original ones, and loved it. It was very popular, and I started making it was a So Faded sweater I was aiming for, but then I decided, because I wanted a good sort of chunk of colour of each colour, to make it slightly longer, and it's turned into a dress. So I'm going to have to wear a belt or something with it, because otherwise it's going to be really baggy around my waist. But it's another one of my guilty secrets, that it's been hidden away, and the work's never been, like, the sleeves are still, one sleeve's still half done and the other one's not even started. So I'm one of those people that, as I said, I tend to work on things until I've gotten my pleasure out of them, and then they kind of lie abandoned for a while. But so this is anyway what I created, but I had to adapt the chakra club slightly, so the speckles were a bit more subtle, because otherwise you wouldn't have gotten the full range of the pinks or the reds or the oranges, and they would have all looked the same. But I'm hoping I can bring these back like this, so that I can have them at fairs, because I really do love this set. So that's where I am with one sleeve, and then I'll get the other one. But the reason I realised that I was going to have to finish this is because I need the needles for another project I'm working on, and it's sort of stalled just now until I finish this. Because at one point I thought I didn't even have the needles, and I was like, that can't be right. There's no way I can't have a set of needles. But it was just they were in use. So I'm hoping that I can have my main chakra set and then like the chakra bundles at some fairs coming up soon. Because it is fun. It's just nice to have rainbows within rainbows, if that makes sense. So the project that I've been working on that I need those needles for is my Advent sweater. So each year I create an Advent collection. I'm at that stage now because I've recorded this twice already that I'm doubting that I've already spoken to you about it. So if I have, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I create an Advent collection based on a tradition. So the first year I chose Quality Street because we always have a tin in the house, and it's just, there's something about the smell and the colours and everything, and using the tin afterwards that is such a part of Christmas to me. So I created this collection, and I really do love it. I chose some of the sweet wrappers for inspiration. I chose things like this is what's in your tin, based on using up a tin afterwards and having like a collection of things in it, like ribbons or buttons and that sort of thing. These were like the Major Quality and Miss Sweetly, the characters that were on the tins. These were based on some vintage adverts for Quality Street, and this one was on the Magic Moments. Do you remember the song that used to be on and the adverts as a way to say thank you? So that had to be incorporated. So that was the Quality Street one that I did. Then in 2020 I did a Pantomime collection for Advent, and chose lots of the stories, the characters, and some of the history of pantomime for my inspiration. This one here is Harlequin, based on the sort of origins of the pantomime. Yeah, and I loved it. I chose a sparkly base for this one because it just felt right. And I did, this is the Dust of Snow wrap. I don't know if I said that. That's the Land of Sweets Cowl. Both Advent kind of specific patterns, and I love them. So this is the Dust of Snow wrap. This is the second one I've made of that, and I love it. It's such a good pattern. I don't use like mohair or anything in with it. I just knit it, same size needles and everything, but just the 4-ply yarn. It creates like a lovely kind of drapey shawl. So that was 2020, and then 2021 I chose Radio Times. I had great fun watching lots of Christmas specials of programmes and doing research into it. I had lots of laughs as well watching the programmes, and had so much fun just coming up with the colourways. So I went for a very speckly look for this one. I have decided to make a garment this time because I wanted to show ideas for using up Advent yarns, because rather than just following a pattern, or there's a limit to how many shawls and things we can have, I think. So I wanted to show it as a garment. So I decided to do the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits, especially as it's a free pattern. So I thought it would be a nice one for kind of showing people, especially for beginners, because sometimes I think you think that garments are kind of above and beyond you when you're starting off, and really the Tin Can Knits patterns are fantastically straightforward and fun to do. So I thought it would be a good one to be able to show, and also a nice one just to have samples of, like small samples of all the colourways, because again, people often ask me, have you got a sample in this colourway? And it's difficult sometimes. There's just not time for me to make a sample and everything, so this kind of helps with that, I would say. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling and I'm sorry, but I must be honest, I'm not entirely sure if I'm happy with the combination of colours. I love every single one individually. I'm a bit concerned that it looks just a bit too much in this, but I'm hoping once the sleeves are on, it won't feel quite so overwhelming, because it does feel a bit overwhelming just now, which for someone who'll wear something so bright and colourful outside, it says a lot. But anyway, so this is the Flax Light sweater in the Advent colours from the Radio Times. I love some of the colourways in particular. I love this one here, which is Tinsel. That one is Record Breaker. Let me see what else. It's kind of hard to see, it doesn't do it justice in here, but that is Heroes and Villains from the Only Fools and Horses episode from the trilogy, and that one is Song at Twilight, which is one of the very first Christmas cover that the Radio Times did. The Snowman and Doof Doof. This one's Ooh Ah Bird, which is from The Good Life. Hello, darling.
Why are you recording?
Because Mummy's recording. That's why I'm recording. I'm doing a podcast. Do you want to come and join in?
Hi.
Hi. Mummy was just showing
I have two different coloured pretend mermaids. And the one with green hair and the green tail is called Green because her hair's green and her tail's green. And this one's called Purple because it has purple hair and a purple tail.
Yeah, you love them, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got them yesterday night.
Yeah, when we went to do something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mummy was just showing her jumper. What do you think of it?
Wow, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Well, that's good. That's really good. Now, so, where am I? Yeah, so I think once I get the sleeves in, it might look more ordered because the sleeves will follow the same colours. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. If not, I might rip it out and make something completely different. Sometimes we just have to go trial and error, don't we, with projects. So I'm showing you those bits and pieces. Oh yeah, the last thing I kind of wanted, oh, hang on, there's a little person here that I need to show you, another little person. Oh, hang on, darling. This is my gnome that I'm working on. This is my gnome Nathan, I think his name is. Let's see.
Nathan.
So, if you follow me on social media, you'll have seen, hang on, come here, darling, there we go, that I have made two other gnomes. They're sitting up on the shelf up there, I'll get them in a second, and they're Nelly and, no, it's okay, Nelly and Nemo. So that's Nelly, and you manage, good girl, well done, and Nemo. You like them, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You often play with them, don't you?
Yeah, but I haven't played with them for a while.
No, not for a while. But you're looking forward to another one joining in, aren't you?
Ooh.
So this one is Nathan. So it's a lovely cabled gnome, and I'm at the stage where the cable's about to split for the bottom half of his body. So I want to get this one finished soon because they're all designed by somebody called Sarah of Imagined Landscapes, and she has 12 patterns out and is releasing a 13th one shortly for a make-along, a mystery make-along. She is also running the Year of Gnomes this year, so if you like making them or want to try one, you can join in and possibly win a prize. If you see her social media, there's more information about it there. So I want to get this one finished because, as I said, the 13th one's coming out soon, and I'm one of the dyers for that make-along. I have sets available on the website just now, mini skein sets. I didn't take any over just now to show you, but it's going to be a colourwork gnome, but it has a lot less colourwork than Nemo. It's just on the, yeah, there's just a bit of colourwork rather than as much as he has, because he has a lot on his body and everything. There's just a smaller amount, and it's a different kind of shape and everything this time, so I think it'll be, I've seen it, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but I think it's going to be a fun one to do, and I want to join in as the clues are released, because I never normally manage to do that, so that's why I want to get this one off the needles and add it to my collection. But if you want to see the sets that I've put together, you can see them on the website or on my social media. The gnome is has like a food theme, so I've kind of put together sets based on Scottish food and drink that's quite well known, or some of my favourites. The most popular set is made from girders, so I think that's the set that I'm going to get myself and make my gnome in, because I think it'll be really fun, and then I can take it to shows and have some sets as well. Leave that just nice sweetheart. Okay. So,
and my mum has this.
Yeah. So that's one of the upcoming things that I'm going to be doing. The first clue comes out in May, so there's still plenty of time for you to grab a copy of the pattern and a bundle of yarn, or put together yarn from your own set. I would recommend, because it's colour work, that you go for solid colours. But other than that, you can have fun putting them together. The last thing that I want to speak about is that I'm going to have my own make-along. I wanted to...
Mum?
Yeah?
Once you're done doing that, can we please go out for a walk? Because
yes, okay.
I need to stretch my legs. And I think Leo does too.
Okay. I obviously didn't stretch my legs enough when I was growing up, because I'm quite short. So,
Mum.
There you go. Right, if you give me a few minutes, I'll be finished, okay?
Okay, Mum.
Okay. So, yeah, I want to run my own make-along. A couple of years ago... Wait, do you want to go down?
Just need my...
Your mermaids. Okay, good girl. I made these shawls. I showed them last time, the Make Your Own Luck shawl. And I love doing it with a bundle of 10 mini skeins and a skein of undyed yarn. So I made that one in my jewel tone bundle, and I made this one in the muted rainbow bundle. They're great fun because each section is different, so you never get bored of doing it, and you're never working on a huge amount of stitches all at once, which is great, because I'm not one of those people that can kind of handle 400 stitches at once, if not unless I really, really love something. Anyway, so those that shawl, the Make Your Own Luck shawl, is designed by Lisa Ross of Paper Daisy Creations, and she has lots of shawls and patterns, but she has another one called Positive Thinking, which is very similar, uses the same amount of yarn, but ends up with like a mosaic kind of design. So I thought it would be fun to do a make along where you can knit either of those patterns, or if you have any suggestions of patterns that use 10 20-gram minis in 4-ply yarn and 100 grams of the contrast. If you have any suggestions, let me know and I can add them to the options. I just wanted to have something that was rainbow and colourful and fun and just cheered us up, because there's been a lot in the world, hasn't there, that hasn't been so bright and cheerful, and I thought perhaps some positive thinking might make us happy, or help. It's not going to change anything, unfortunately. But I used, so I released some more bundles, rainbow bundles. This is my earthy rainbow. This is my relaxed one. And my garden flowers, which is a long time since it's been in stock. So I released a lot of them with the hope of raising some money for UNICEF, for the children that have been affected by the war in Ukraine. And through those and some of my boxes of colour and some other bits and pieces, I did raise money for the charity, which I'm really grateful for. And I still have bundles available and boxes of colour on the website. The boxes of colour are, you choose your weight. You can choose like a mix of colours in rainbow or individual colours, and I'll put something together with what I've got, some scrappies and 20 grams and 10 grams, and send it to you, and it'll be a surprise kind of combination, but you'll hopefully know that it's something that you'll love, because I've put them together with a lot of care. I was donating a portion of the sale from each of those to the charity as well. So yeah. So even though the make along and the positive thinking won't maybe make a big difference, the money raised hopefully will help some children, because at the end of the day the children are the ones that it has the biggest impact on, I think, long term. And yeah, the thought of anything happening to somebody that you care, and especially a little one, is hard to imagine. So I wanted to try and make a difference in that sense. So the make along will be running from the 1st of May until the end of July, possibly a little bit longer because it's the summer holidays and I might be distracted. So it might run into the middle of August or even slightly later than that. If I'm struggling to get a shawl done in that time, I might extend it slightly. I will give away 1 or 2 prizes, and I have set up a Mighty Networks group for the make along. I'm still finding my feet there because it's a brand new experience, so I haven't posted anything yet because I'm waiting on people to want to join. So if you'd like to join, let me know and I can send you an invite, and we can kind of chat about things and hopefully share anything that we're working on and just make a little community. I think it's something that's really important in the knitting world, is to have a community and like-minded folk. So I'm hoping that the Mighty Networks group can be one of those things. So if I've gotten distracted and I've missed anything and you want to know anything, please let me know. Just send an email and I'll try my best to get back to you. Email's probably the best way to get in touch with me to ask a question. Most social media I see, but sometimes I miss things, especially if it's a tag of some kind. Or yes.
Please, can I have this one?
Yes, you can have Nelly.
I mean that
Nemo.
one.
Of course you can. You like him best, don't you?
I'm gonna show you.
Okay. Yeah, if there's anything you want to know, just get in touch. As I said, email's the best. And I think that's all I need to tell you just now, or share with you. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry this has been a for the third time been a bit of a chaotic episode.
Mum,
Yes.
who's this podcast?
Nemo.
And this name is called Nemo.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be so long until the next episode. Certainly, hopefully not 10 months. In the meantime, take care, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.